Good morning, and thank you for joining me here in Emerald Hills. With me this morning is our Transportation Director, Bethany Bizak, our City Engineer, Rania Amen, Masada Ellis, a community advocate, as well as a resident of Paradise Hills. And we're also joined by Evelyn Smith and Sally Small, who are co-chairs of the Emerald Hills Neighborhood Council. 3 weeks ago, I turned over to the City Council my proposed budget, and the Council now has the opportunity to make changes to it. On Friday, the City Council's Budget Review Committee will meet to discuss the updated fiscal year 2025 budget and offer proposed changes. Today, I'm again urging the City Council to pass a responsible budget in line with the approach my administration took as we work to address the deficit of more than $170 million. Specifically, we must ensure that our spending plan continues to invest in repairs and critical elements of our city's infrastructure. Now, what does that mean? I know I sometimes get static from folks about infrastructure. Let me be very specific about what this means. It means fixing the damn roads. I know people are furious about the condition of the roads in our city, and I get it. And that's why even in a difficult budget year, we're dedicating more resources to fixing roads all across our city. During my administration, we have been steadily increasing the number of miles of roads that we've repaired or resurfaced annually. And despite the significant budget deficit, we are not slowing down. My fiscal year 2025 Protecting Our Progress budget increases the mileage of overlay. That's where we grind the road down to the very bottom and repave it. Basically, we build it from scratch, from 60 budgeted miles to 75 budgeted miles. It also includes funding for the design and planning needed to complete 105 miles in fiscal year 2026. When you add in slurry seal, which extends the useful life of pavement, we'll be repaving or resurfacing more than 200 miles in the next fiscal year. Now, we are here in the beautiful community of Emerald Hills today because, as you can see, our incredible transportation department is in the midst of a project to repave Roswell Drive from here at Winston Drive to Creston Drive, about a half a mile away. Now, this is a relatively short project, but it's one that our transportation department is handling in-house rather than having our engineering department contracted out to a private construction company. I believe in our city staff. They get the job done better than anybody else, and you will see when this is done how good they are at what they do. We'll probably be all right. You guys okay with this? I keep going? Is that all right? All right. This is what's called a mill and pave operation. And my proposed budget includes funding for an additional mill and pave team so that we can do more of these projects and fewer residents have to wait for us to fix their road. And Ms. Evelyn, I know this is of concern to you. Let me just share you some good news. We'll be coming back soon to finish the rest of Roswell Drive. I know this is only a portion of it. We will get the rest of it done for you. I promise you that. Fix the roads, right, everybody? Okay. Now, of course, our infrastructure needs more investment than just in the roads. To upgrade our stormwater drainage system, my budget includes nearly $90 million in funding for flood control and green infrastructure projects. Now, this is in addition to the proactive investments the city has been making under the Federal Water Infrastructure Finance and Innovation Act, otherwise known as WIFIA. Through WIFIA, the city is using U.S. EPA dollars for water infrastructure projects, covering up to 49% of up to $733 million in stormwater upgrades, which range from pipeline replacements and pump station repairs to comprehensive watershed restoration. Now, I urge the City Council to join with me in prioritizing our city's considerable needs for infrastructure upgrades by passing this budget when they vote on it next week. Now, I want to also level with the residents of San Diego. While this budget maintains the steady increase in funding for roads, for stormwater, and for other capital projects, it is not nearly enough to repair and maintain the core infrastructure that San Diego needs to be a world-class city. Depending on external economic factors such as interest rates and the housing market, which generally helps to create more property taxes, our budget deficit could be even worse next year. But even in the best case scenario, we simply must have additional revenue to make up for decades of underinvestment in our communities, to get our aging and neglected infrastructure back up to the standards that San Diegans expect and, frankly, that they deserve. So in closing, I will say that no matter the circumstances and what the road lies ahead, no pun intended, I can tell you today, my administration will prioritize our available resources on projects and services that San Diegans need the most, and that is infrastructure. With that said, I'd like to introduce one of the women that are helping me get this job done, our incredible director of our transportation department, Bethany Bizak. Bethany?
Thank you, Mayor Gloria. What you've heard from the mayor is that next year's budget continues to focus on essential core city services. The budget will deliver on key investments for what matters most to San Diegans, and that includes infrastructure investments in neighborhoods across all of San Diego. The mayor's budget includes the addition of 2 new city teams which will be dedicated to road repairs, and I'm excited to share how these investments will build on this year's progress. Currently, the Transportation Department operates with 2 paving teams that make permanent repairs to improve the pavement condition. But with over 6,600 lane miles across the city, it's challenging to keep up. The addition of a 3rd in-house paving team will expand our capacity to perform paving on more street segments across the city. In addition, the mayor has added a street reconstruction team so we can focus on rehabilitating some of the roads in the worst condition with the lowest pavement condition index. Today, we're standing on Roswell Street with a pavement condition index score as low as 4.79. On a scale of 100 being the best and 0 being the worst pavement condition, a score of 4 is categorized as failed. Historically, this would have been a location that would have gone unpaved for years to come without the mayor's addition of these new paving and street reconstruction teams. And having these teams in-house allows us to be efficient and cost-effective with paving our streets rather than outsourcing all of that work. With the work of our new teams, we'll be restoring roads back to safe and smooth conditions across all of our neighborhoods and of what they deserve. What you see today and over the coming week ahead is the positive impacts of our paving team that we can have on the community as we completely restore Roswell Street. Immediately following the press conference, we will mill down the old and deteriorated pavement on the southbound side of Roswell. Once the milling is done, we'll have paved this road over the next week, and the best news is that residents won't have to deal with those pesky potholes. Today's work demonstrates the capability of our city paving operations to address roads in very poor, serious, and failed conditions. What you see today is one of the many tools that we have in our toolbox to maintain and restore roads. This month, we'll be achieving a historic all-time high of completing 250 miles of slurry seal in 1 calendar year. And the overlay is another important tool that contributes to our goals for improving roads. With that, Rania Amen, our Director of Engineering and Capital Projects, will provide an update on the important work that's happening on our overlay programs. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Bethany. We in the Engineering Capital Project Department are constantly collaborating to achieve the most efficient and effective delivery of the City Capital Improvements Program. Our mission is to deliver a high-quality infrastructure system, and our vision is to be innovative industry leader in developing reliable and sustainable public infrastructure for San Diegans. The proposed infrastructure investments in this year's budget will help us to do that and protect our progress. We are thrilled to see that the continued investment in fixing San Diego's roads. The more than $104 million for asphalt overlay that is proposed in Mayor Gloria's budget will help maintain our enhanced resurfacing efforts and bring more new roadways to San Diegans. We started off fiscal year 2024 with the goal of completing 60 miles of overlay. Thanks to the hard work of the city staff and our contractor, we're currently on track to surpass that goal and complete approximately 71 miles overlay by July of this year. And next fiscal year is expected to be better, as Mayor Gloria mentioned. Our teams are currently working on design for fiscal year 2025 and expected to overlay approximately 75 miles, repairs miles of San Diego roads. That's more than double the 33 miles of overlay were completed just a few years ago during fiscal year 2022. The department is also actively collaborating with the construction industry to ensure that our overlay projects are designed and constructed using best practices. Our city engineers are at the forefront of innovation, working with the region at building better roads to pilot materials such as fiber reinforcement and recycled asphalt pavement to promote sustainability while increasing the durability and expected lifetime of the new asphalt, demonstrating our commitment to the long-term road quality. These repairs road will be strategically placed throughout every community and follow the guidance of the pavement management plan. And it wouldn't be possible without the significant investment committed by the mayor. The proposed, again, $104 million budget for overlay project is more than 4 times of what it was in fiscal year 2021. Asphalt overlay gives new life to cracked and heavily damaged roadways. Segments of major roads like El Cajon Boulevard, Ingram Street, Genesee Avenue, Navajo Road, and Otay Mesa Road, as well as a portion of Roswell Street that was completed recently, have already been overlaid, extending the lifespan by 20 to 25 years. We are on a mission to do the same for other more major roads next fiscal year. Mayor Gloria, thank you for your continued push to ensure San Diegans have a high-quality infrastructure. We are dedicated to bringing your vision to reality by providing each community with the assets it needs and deserves, including newly repaved roadways. Now, I would like to introduce Masada Ellis, a resident of Paradise Hills and a District 4 representative of the Board of Episcopal Community Services, to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Yes, thank Mayor Todd Gloria and his whole administration for doing things that matter to the communities that we live in, addressing the past neglect. Our district, our communities, we just heard numbers saying the past fiscal year and the budget was addressed with roads. Our roads have been overlooked for many years, and now we have an office that is doing something about it, and we're happy about that. The consequences of this neglect are not just abstract infrastructure problems. There are real issues that affect us every day. I'm one of those residents. I'm a father of 4 and I live in this community. So driving to school, driving to work, trying to drop my kids off and having potholes or other things that is damaging your cars. I am personally a victim of that. And it matters to me the most, so I'm happy that Mayor Gloria's commitment to these overlooked districts are making them not overlooked anymore. The budget includes specific investments to repair and improve the streets in our districts, recognizing the urgent need for infrastructure upgrades. The Sexy Street Initiative is what it's called, and Mayor Gloria's Sexy Street Initiative is a crucial commitment component aiming to enhance the aesthetics and functional aspects of the community streets. Mayor Gloria's Sexy Streets Initiative has already started to transform our districts. It's not about just better roads, but also about improved infrastructure and more vibrant community. In 2024, from 2022 to 2024, areas such as North Park, La Jolla, Claremont, they've been getting made really nice. And now it's our turn to get those funds and get our cities nice, because this not only affects us, the urgency of infrastructure improvements affects all businesses. There are a lot of local businesses here that help teens have a safe haven and a proactive place to do things. And with Mayor Gloria's budget being increased, it will be able to affect us in a great way, affecting places and local businesses and local entrepreneurs, bringing more business to all of us, not just in certain areas of San Diego. San Diego happens to be America's finest city, and it's also America's most expensive city. And I would love for all of San Diego to reflect that. When people come to San Diego, they speak on places of Southeast, Barrio, Logan, as underdeveloped or overlooked. They sometimes call it ghetto, they sometimes call it hood. But people like me, we call it home. It's where our grandparents live, it's where our moms, our parents, our dads live, it's where our children live and go to school. So I think it's about time now that we actually have a change. And change is happening. It's happening with Mayor Gloria's office and his administration. And it's happening now. So let's be a part of that change. I thank Mayor Gloria. I thank his staff. I thank everybody involved with getting our roadways better. This year we had a storm, and it affected a lot of people in San Diego. So I'm going to read off some numbers to you real quick. 150 billion gallons of rain fell on San Diego in about 6 hours. More than 1,200 San Diegans were displaced, and attendant flooding and live in hotels or housing provided by a patchwork of local agencies to include neighborhood house and Episcopal community services. According to the Salvation Army, 594 homes were damaged by the floodwaters in January. This means because of an inadequate storm system that our homes, people who have been here 40, 50 years, were not able to live in their homes anymore. And that is not acceptable. So I really do thank Mayor Gloria and his office acting fast with the right leadership. We need to act fast and decisively while we have leaders like him in office who genuinely care about improving our communities. Mayor Gloria is considering investing in revitalizing Districts 4, 8, and 9 to address long-standing issues that have been ignored too long. The opportunity to make significant progress is now, with a mayor committed to prioritizing the needs of all residents and ensuring no community is left behind. We need to act fast and decisively while we have a leader in office who genuinely cares about improving our communities. I got up here with a whole lot to say, but truly from my heart, I speak from my heart when I say that this budget does reflect a renewed commitment to District 4 and 8 and 9. Those are the districts we live in. We have a lot of beautiful areas in San Diego, and I would love to see the Sexy Street initiative get the funding it needs. So we're urging the city council. We just voted for you all. We want you to live by your word and commitment to helping these undeveloped, underfunded, overlooked communities, because I don't call them overlooked again. Once again, we call them home. So please hear me by I'm urging you all to do this as fast as you can and make a decisive decision, because streets like this in my neighborhood have been going on for years to fix. And we don't have time to keep waiting while other projects are being funded and other funded projects need finished while other funded projects still can't get the commitment it needs. So please help us out, because we're all San Diegans. And I always love the quote to say, all of us or none of us, because this is how San Diego looks. My community is very mixed, and we love San Diego, but we don't love the infrastructure, and the infrastructure hasn't been loving us this year, and we need your help. So thank you, San Diego.
So thank you for those comments, as well as for your advocacy here in Council District 4 and Paradise Hills, and your advocacy for Districts 4, 8, and 9, which I would be the first to acknowledge there are historic inequities in these communities. And what we've been trying to do is put the policies in place that take that into consideration as we spend our limited dollars. And you've seen Imperial, you've seen Euclid, you've seen new sidewalks on Rio. We're redoing the park at Kennedy. We've got resources coming in here. And I guess the point of today is that even in a difficult budget year, when we're having to tighten our belts and reduce our budget by $170 million in spending, we are still going to prioritize our collective public safety. We're going to make a greater commitment to addressing our homelessness crisis, and we're going to make sure that we're fixing our roads. Today is about the roads. Again, we are anticipating repaving more than 200 miles of roads in this difficult budget year, with a goal and an expectation to do even more next year. This shows the priority of this administration, and with the council's support next Tuesday when they consider the budget for their final vote, it is my hope that we'll continue on this path of fixing as many roads as we possibly can while we wait for additional assistance from voters to make sure that we can do even more than we already are. So thank you for being here today. I recognize we are keeping the incredible team from our transportation department from getting this work going. So let me just conclude with just a word of thanks and appreciation. I want San Diegans to know that we have incredible public servants, 12,000 people who come to work at the city of San Diego every single day. A number of them are behind me. We were hanging out, some of us, at the Rock and Roll Marathon on Sunday morning. They were there helping with that event. They're here on Wednesday repaving roads in Council District 4. These folks care deeply about our city. They have my respect, my appreciation, and my trust to make sure that we do right by these residents. So let's get out of their way, let's get them back to work, and let's get this road fixed. Thank you all very much for being here today.